Can you smell that? Whew, smells like money.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Dirty Deal Podcast. I'm Tyler Fleetwood.
Daniel Brown.
And we have an amazing guest for you guys today. His name's Andrew Newlon. He's out of Springfield, Missouri. He's the founder of Ozark House Buyers, the number one wholesale company in Springfield. I've actually personally bought a house from this guy. I'm sure Daniel has. Most people that I know in this business have worked with him and bought properties from him. He has flipped in his career and wholesaled over 700 properties. He knows what's going on. He knows the deal. We're so fortunate to have him here. Andrew, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for the solid introduction.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Awesome. Yeah. So right off the bat, wholesaling. There's going to be a lot of people that are watching this that, don't know what wholesaling is. So can you just, from the basics, break us down, what is wholesaling?
Yeah. Well, to put in perspective, wholesaling isn't only for real estate. So if you think about Walmart sells apples, they don't own those apples, or they didn't grow the apples. So they bought it at one price. They put it in their store. They sold it at a higher price to the consumer. So in real estate, you're pretty much doing the same thing. I'll buy a house from you for, say, $50,000, and Daniel comes around and says, hey, I'm looking for investment property. I'll sell it to him for $60,000. What makes wholesaling unique is the method I think most investors or operators go to is they will market that property and sell it within the same day. So, Tyler, you and I will go under contract, and I'll buy your house for $50,000. We'll close in 30 days. And immediately I call Daniel and say, man, I found your investment property. I'll sell it to you for $60,000. Let's close in 30 days. And we close in one day, same day. And so back-to-back closings. If I own it, it's only for a few minutes or maybe an hour. And then I make whatever the difference is.
So if you're buying a house from me that I live in and you're going to wholesale the house, me as the seller, am I ever made aware that you're selling? Do you always make the seller aware? Should you? Does it matter? And we'll talk about a double close situation also. Yeah. But how do you normally navigate that?
So we're in a unique position because although we wholesale, it's just one of our strategies. We buy inventory. In fact, so that is the way typical people wholesale. We actually buy the majority of the houses. We own it like a car lot would. So we own a bunch of houses, and then we'll mark it out and say, hey, Daniel, you want to buy this house? Hey, Tyler, you want to buy this house? We wholesale it once we own it. But traditionally, when someone's getting in real estate, that's probably how they're going to do it. They're going to buy it and sell it within the same day. You don't have to tell the sellers, and I wouldn't recommend that, right?
So you close on it first, and then you wholesale it?
About 60, 70% of the houses we wholesale, we've already owned. Yeah.
Wow,
the only ones we don't is when it's really easy, right? It's vacant. It's a solid deal. I know exactly who's going to buy it, but it keeps it so much easier once we finance it, we own it, and then we send it out to us.
So walk me through that, because that, even to me, that's kind of new. Most of the wholesalers I've worked with, they don't own the properties that they're wholesaling me.
That's way different.
So what made you decide to do it that way?
It's first and foremost, when you get into real estate and you start wholesaling, I'm not going to talk anyone out of it. Like, it's a great stepping stone. I think everyone should at least at one point wholesale a house so you understand there's no quicker way to get cash in real estate than to wholesale a house. Flipping takes forever. A lot of variables there, and renting, you won't get cash out of it, right? You get cash flow if at best, and it takes years for you to actually recognize the equity in it. So, but what we found really early on was it's nerve-wracking to wholesale a house. Is this a good deal? Can I sell it? I got to show the house. I'm telling you, Tyler, as a homeowner, like, hey, I get my contractors through, my investors through, or finance guys through.
Trying to keep me calm.
Yeah. And the next thing I know, I get Daniel, and Daniel's like, dude, this ain't a deal. And I get Billy, and Bill's like, this ain't a deal. And then everyone's just confused and stuff. And I'm nervous about it blowing up, or what happens if no one buys it. I can go inside a house and make an offer, or our team can, and be solid. I don't need to see your house again. I don't need to put a lockbox on it. We're not doing inspections. We're not getting partners through, nothing. This is the price. Next time you see me is at the closing table. Yeah. And that is very solid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When you get these national wholesalers that are coming into our market, and their contracts are pages long of all these, like, I needed this, this, and this, and option B, option C, and whatever. And then we come in just, here's the price. No ifs, ands, buts about it. We'll win.
Well, and you've done this so much that you know a good deal when you see one. Yeah. So it's not as risky as it sounds when you have the experience that you have to say, I know that this house is going to sell. I know what it's worth. I know what I'm willing to pay for it. I know what somebody else is willing to pay for it. And so you close on it, and then the person that you're dealing with afterwards is dealing with the decision maker.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's key too, decision maker, right? You guys come to me like, hey, I can offer you, I'm asking 60, I can offer you 52. Well, if I don't own the house and I'm nervous about not being able to buy the house, then I'll take 52 all day long.
Right.
I own the house. I know I'll flip it myself. Or
Right.
I'll just list it as is or something, do something else. I'm going to stand at 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be honest, the way that you just described wholesaling, the way that you do it, honestly sounds way different than a majority of the people that I've talked to about wholesaling.
Correct, yeah.
Because it's more like the other way that you talked about.
Yeah.
So can you take us like back like just a
Yep.
little bit where it's like, how did you kind of get started? You know, you have a pretty big team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you kind of get started and then transition into more of this type of wholesaling, which it sounds much better.
Yeah. People ask, I just say all I'm doing is managing inventory. We just
Right.
buy a handful of houses every month, and then we figure out what's the best use of it. So let's see. In 2013, up to 2013, I was in and out of military deployments, college, just kind of shuffling around in life as a young adult. Didn't really have much of direction. And one of the things I was doing was working on a friend of mine. His dad owned a bunch of rental properties. And so he had me over and was like, hey, I'll teach you how to drywall, I'll teach you how to do flooring, a little electrical, whatever the case may be. But he kept saying, if I knew then, at your age, what I know now, I would have started, buying rentals then.
Yeah.
And so I partnered up with we're not partners anymore, but we had a good run though. Partnered up with a good friend of mine, and we went out and bought 2 rental properties, thinking we'll just collect these. Next thing you know, we retire, and we know that's not the truth, right?
Yeah.
And so we're like,
the
just
plan
10
anyways.
rental properties. I'm not working again. We're going to go be on the beaches of Mexico. And so we did. We bought 2 houses, refinanced them, bought 2 more houses, refinanced those. And we did that. We recognized how long it took. Like, we're not going to get anywhere with this. We refinanced house 3 and 4. We had, I don't know, $10,000 we pulled out. The one time we've ever pulled more out than what we spent on a house. And we said, how long can we last off this $10,000? And we said, well, what do you need a month? What do you need a month? And back then, I was single, had no obligations. The economy is a little bit
You're
different.
like, all I need is $650, bro.
Yeah.
We're good.
That's back when like the 7-layer burritos were like 79 cents.
Yes.
You could eat a meal at a case of Keystone for like $5, right?
Yeah.
But so it was $1,800 a month. It's like I can live on $1,800 a month, which is laughable to think about now. Yeah, can't get groceries for like a family of 2. Right, for $1,800.
Right.
And so we said $1,800 a month. We figured we had 4 months to figure out how to wholesale a house. We went to Ron LeGrand's boot camp. It was about the same time, and he introduced
You said Ronald who?
Ron LeGrand.
Ron LeGrand?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's like known as like the godfather of real estate gurus. Been around for decades, and his pitch was more a pretty house business where you buy something on terms, so like a lease option or on monthly payment, but then you turn around and sell it on terms, lease option, rent own, seller finance. But he did talk about how to market for wholesale deals, and so let's go try this out. We had 4 months. So we fired our bosses, went full time, did a deal pretty quick out of the
I like how you
gates.
said that. Fire your bosses.
We did, yep. And it just kind of just fell into place. We just kept hustling, and the goal was a wholesale house so we can flip a house so we can keep a rental. Wholesale house to flip a house to keep a rental. And that's what we did for several years. In about 2017, I think, we established Ozark House Buyers and said we're going to treat this like a business. We joined a mastermind. We hired our first employee. We're like, let's look at this as growth, scaling. And from 2017 till now, we've just slowly been adding team members, added a market.
You guys are killing it. How many houses did you guys do last year?
I think it was 153, 152, 153.
Wholesales and flips, or just wholesales? Okay.
Those are houses purchased, not necessarily did we sell or whatever.
Right.
We just so we were always talking apples to apples year over year. We only talk about purchases. So we bought 152 or 153 last year.
Wow. That is
Between
awesome.
2 markets though, so they just do that in Springfield, Missouri, be beyond impressive. But we did probably about 80 here in Springfield and the other remaining difference down in Texas.
What's the difference between the Texas market? You're in Lubbock, right?
Yep.
What's the difference between the market down there and the market up here?
Almost nothing. That's why it works so well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you figure that out?
Yeah, I was part of a mastermind that's not there anymore. But there was a couple there I became friends with, and their daughter kept coming to the events, and she knew I was wholesaling, so she picked my brain and say, hey, how do you wholesale this and that? And at the time, we wanted to try a new market. So I just threw it out there. I mean, nonchalantly, just out of the middle of nowhere dinner one night, I said, hey, you want to partner up on a couple of deals? Yeah, let's do this. And we did that, and then we just kept doing it. And then 2020, we said we're going to treat this like one ecosystem and combine it. We have one leadership team, one set of meetings, one set of policies, procedures, one marketing plan. All of it's the same. The reason it works so well is because the markets are identical. Our MSA is about 250, 240, 250 if you add like Nixon, Republic, Willard. Lubbock doesn't really have an MSA. It's just Lubbock, and they're about 250.
Can you explain for people that don't know what MSA means?
What if I don't know what it means?
Can you explain it?
It's something serving area, right? Metro serving
Okay.
area. It's essentially the whole hub. So like St. Louis itself, when you look at St. Louis flyover, you're not looking at all of St. Louis. You're
Right.
looking at St. Charles and all these other different cities.
Right.
Like Kansas City, you got Liberty and Kearney and stuff. So
Okay.
what I like to look at is anything that touches Springfield is part of Springfield
Right.
area. So that's what we
Right.
target. We're going to buy houses in that area. So the population of that is about 250,000. And the population of Lubbock, Texas is about the same. So same marketing plan, which is pretty important because your marketing plan for a 250,000 population town versus Austin, Texas are going to be two different marketing plans.
Right.
You can do one channel in Austin and probably run your whole business. In Springfield, you can't grow to scale with just doing one channel.
Right.
The median sales price is almost identical. The demographic, the makeup, blue collar, Bible Belt, college town, they're all the same. The way people talk to each other. We do nothing virtual. It's all in-person appointments. We're meeting homeowners at their table, and it works in both markets. You do that in Miami, and before you even get to the house, it's under contract with someone over the phone.
Right.
And so we just kind of got lucky. I had no idea it was like that. It was literally just I'll coach you through this, and we'll do a couple of deals.
Right.
We'll split it. But when we realized how easy it was and similarities, which is
So you have a partner down there that's able to oversee like
Yeah.
your employees and things?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then that's another thing that I want to ask you. When you bring on a new wholesaler that's going to work for you, what do you require from a wholesaler, number one? And what does the education or training look like to get a wholesaler to start hitting the roads? What does that look like?
And to clarify, we don't bring wholesalers on. We hire employees. They're W-2
Yeah.
sales reps.
Okay.
They're usually, every now and then we get someone's like, hey, I have aspirations to wholesale, or I tried wholesaling and didn't work. But most people that we bring on our team like sales. That's what they're good at. They love talking to people.
Are they
building
making a
rapport.
commission?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, commission. And that's it. It could be someone from cars. It could be someone from life insurance. We've had a handful of people from like cell phone sales. It doesn't matter really what it is. It's just they have to have a passion to talk to people and overcome
Is there a
objections.
standard commission or is there a sliding scale or how does that work?
Yeah, there's a sliding scale. So we start out, everyone starts at 10% of whatever the company makes on each deal.
Right.
And then as their gross revenue for the year increases, we slide that all the way up to 15%.
And so you're letting these these guys that work for you that are doing the deals, you let them know how much money you're going to make on the deal, and I'm assuming that you do that, and you give them a little bit of freedom to say, well, hey, here's the thing: if you have to drop the price, just know that your 10% is less now.
Yeah.
Or
I'm pretty confident. So we call them acquisition reps. So we have 3 different salespeople on our team. We have what we call lead managers. They're the one that answers the phone. So we send out direct mail. We have TV ads, online ads. When someone calls, there's 2 people in our office that answer phone calls all day long.
your online ads, by the way, have been hitting pretty good. I see them
Okay.
all the time.
Good.
I think you're doing a great job with that.
Thanks.
And I've already bought houses from you, but every time I see him, I'm like, I want to buy a house from him.
Appreciate that,
Even though
yeah.
it does. So it's definitely, they look great.
Yeah, I'll let Casey know. Casey's in charge of all the marketing. She'll be with us 5 years next month.
Nice.
And that was one of our focuses this year, was get back into marketing, tear it all apart and rebuild it. So there's been a lot of intentionality behind it. Where we're going at. So we got different sales positions. So the acquisition ones are the ones going meeting homeowners and making an offer, negotiating with them. We're following up because not everyone's ready to take an offer at that time.
Right.
And yeah, we train them on how to determine what we call the ARV, right, or after repair value.
Yep.
So that's for those that don't understand. If you remodel a house, you're basing all your numbers on what could it sell for when it's said and done. And it's a guess at the end of the day, right? You're almost never right. You're always wrong, But so I train them on how to determine the ARV, the after repair value, very loosely rehab, because it doesn't matter so much if you buy at the right price. And so they just need to be in the right ballpark, because they're always going to be wrong. You're always wrong. I guarantee it. You buy a house like this is going to be a $40,000 flip. It's 50 or 30, right? But you're never on the nail. So we don't spend too much time with that. But here's how to loosely determine the repairs, and then we kind of give them parameters on what to offer within. And then as long as it falls in those parameters, they can offer it. Outside of that, we do daily deal reviews. So my desk, my door's open at 4:00 every day. They bring in like, hey, I don't know what to do on this house. I don't know what to do on this house. And then every week we go over their pipeline. So tell me about these last 5 appointments, or what about this follow-up. We keep talking about where they at there. So there's some guidance there. But as long as it falls in that parameter, they can make an offer, get it signed. And then as soon as they get it signed, we do like a 2-hour underwriting really quick. Because if we're wrong, we want the sellers know very quickly. We're not going to string them along for 21 days and pull the rug out. We'll call them back and say, hey, we made an honest mistake. This is what we're looking at. What do you want to do from here? And so it's very, very process-oriented.
So I've got a question for you, actually. So if you had to put an arbitrary percentage on it, what would you say in all the houses that you've bought, the percentage of those houses were wholesale deals that you bought from a wholesaler?
Probably 60%.
60?
Yeah.
So,
because I've never done any of my own marketing, advertising, any of that kind of stuff. So like I rely on wholesalers to bring me deals.
Right.
The other 40% is either referral or on market, which is not very exciting either. It's literally like I've stumbled upon it. So like a majority of my deals come from wholesalers.
Right. Yeah, and I haven't done nearly as much as Dan has done, but every deal I've done has been from a wholesaler.
100%.
100%. So it's valuable. It's a big deal with investors. Now let me ask you this. So if you're wholesaling a deal, how do you determine how much money you need to make on a wholesale in order for it to be worth it for you?
Before we put under contract to purchase it or to sell it?
Yeah, to sell it or even to purchase it, because I know I've heard that some people are like, well, I need to make at least 10% or I need to make at least 15%. And I've heard so many different things, but from, you've done so many of these, is there a rule of thumb that you at least hit to make you,
or like a flat fee of like we have to make
whistle?
10K or more,
right?
Like is there like a parameter that you kind of mentioned that a little bit where you're like, hey, there's these parameters where it's like this is purchase price, this is rehab, and this is resale, and it's a go?
The offer side, yes, like you have to stick to a formula, and every person's formula is going to be different.
Sure.
And I give them some subjectivity, right? You can change that formula for a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car, all brick house in Nixa versus a 1-bed, 1-bath, 700 square foot house that needs to be torn apart in North Springfield, right? So there's some subjectivity there, but purchasing it, yes, we have this box. We have to buy it within this range. Whether or not it's going to be worth it to wholesale, I mean, I don't care if we make $1 or 100,000. I mean, is numero uno, are we helping the sellers out? Right? Why would anyone sell a house at a discount if we're not helping them? Right? You can't lose focus of that, or your business will go under. So, are we helping the seller out? Then, can we make money, and does it make sense? So, there's been plenty of times we put a house under contract. Hey, we'll make a good fee on this, and make nothing or next to nothing. And we've taken losses before just to help someone out. Right?
I like that you say that.
Well, it's interesting you say that too, because I've thought about that too, where it's like, especially we talk about mindset, where it's like, why would somebody ever sell me a house at a discount? I hear new investors say that all the time, because they're like, there's no way they're going to sell it to me for XYZ cheaper. And it's like, well, they need to sell it quickly because they're moving here, or there's an illness, or what. There's a million reasons why somebody would sell it at a discount. And you need to like understand that you're not being predatory. You're actually helping people out, because it's a situation. They can't just go list it and sell it for top dollar. That's not everybody's situation.
If you look at it that way, it's easy, because then you can turn around out of a house when you realize I can't help. Like it's a pristine house, and they're like, I don't really have to sell. Hey, here's a realtor's number. List it. And it makes it so easy to make that. But when you see I can help you, it's fun. It's rewarding.
Well, and your marketing reflects that.
Yes.
Do you have a house that you need to unload quick? Do you have a problem child that you need to send to daycare?
Yeah.
Send it to Ozark Home Buyer Daycare. Yeah. We can take your child off your hand. But do you have a situation, and if you market that way, then all the people that you are attracting through your marketing funnels are people that are requesting, asking, and needing your help. And I have dealt with and talked to a lot of wholesalers, and they're not all cut from the same cloth. Some of them are dirtbags. I'm just going to say that. But I've actually bought houses from you, and there's people that I would never dream of doing business with, and it's because I know how they operate.
Right.
And so I think that's just important for everybody that's listening. Not all wholesalers are the same, and you do need to find people that have a lot of experience. You need to find out what drives their business. Why are they doing the thing that they're doing? You need to find somebody like Andrew that is intentionally trying to help people that are in a sticky situation that otherwise, if they didn't work with him, they might lose their house. So I just wanted to make sure that was said, because that's an important thing.
Yeah. And to answer your original question, is like a set fee. No, there isn't that. There isn't one. Like I've heard the same thing, and I think it's kind of like resembles arrogancy a little bit. I won't do a deal unless I make 5,000 or 10,000, 10%. Well, how dare you? You have the ability to help someone, and make some money.
Right.
I mean, just do the deal, and we make some really good ones, and we lose money on ones, and it ends up.
So that brings me to our next question. Tell us about one of the worst deals that you've ever done. Whether it was a wholesale deal, whether it was a flip, just one of the worst stories that just pops in your head. That was a nightmare. A dirty deal.
Yeah. I'll tell you one that is bad. It's upsetting more than anything. So it's not so much that we lose money, but it's something I think we all need to be aware of. So I wish I remember her name. It completely just skipped my mind. Bought a house over on West Catella, right off of Scenic. On West Side Springfield. Older lady called us, said, "Hey, I need to sell my house." Her boyfriend runs some kind of steel company up in Montana, Wyoming, somewhere up north. He got behind on a job and had to make payroll to finish the job, but he couldn't make payroll until they paid him. But they're not paying him until he finishes the job. So he's like, "Well, let's do this. Let's sell the house. Let's make payroll, finish the job, then we'll get a camper. We'll retire." She's 75 years old. Widowed, been widowed for a very long time.
And he was her son?
No, her boyfriend.
Her boyfriend.
Boyfriend, yeah. Kids live actually in Europe.
Okay.
Which is kind of important. So we bought her house and then gave her 90 days to live there. That's how much time he needed to finish the job, buy a camper, come down. She had 8 or 9 chihuahuas. Obviously, you can't travel in camper with 9 chihuahuas.
Dog lady.
Got rid of all but one. Had several birds. Got rid of all of them. And bought the house from her. She sent the money up to him.
I feel like I can smell this house.
Yeah.
Birds, dogs. I feel like I can.
You ever smell one of those before?
Familiar smell.
Yeah.
Smells like
you
money.
can almost feel it on the floor as you're walking.
That's a dirty deal.
Yeah. And so we went and gave her. Is that my phone?
Some.
I don't know.
We can fix it in
mine
post.
on.
It's fine.
We'll fix it in post. We'll take it out.
So we bought the house. She sent the money to the boyfriend so he can finish the job. We gave her 90 days to live there. And about day 70, 75, she comes in our office irate, mad. And I came out there, calmed her down, what's going on. She just started crying and stuff because I haven't heard from my boyfriend since I sent him the money.
All the money.
Oh my
all the money.
God, dude.
So
no way.
we bought her house for $105,000. And that day, an hour after she closed, she wired him $105,000.
Oh my gosh, dude. That is the worst. I don't think it gets worse. It does? Oh gosh.
So let's really if you guys want to spend a couple minutes on this, let's dive into the
take us
context
through
of this.
it.
Let's just peel this apart, right?
Yes.
Come to find out, she never met this guy. He's been grooming her for a year straight on Facebook, and sent the money, disappeared. And so here we are, who we don't have a good name in the public eye already, right? Like we're English chasers, right? Well, even if you're not wholesaler, if you buy houses, real estate investors are just not good, which just blows my mind away. But anyways, that's a totally different.
Next episode.
Next episode.
And now I own this house, renting it, not even renting, so letting her stay there for 90 days. A 75-year-old widowed with kids that are estranged that live in a different country. She's all by herself. $800 a month of Social Security. That's all she has to live off of. And
this is your grandma now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she's no, honestly, she
You're
called
the
me.
only one.
She's sitting there crying in her lobby, and I say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help you out. And she goes, "You're my grandson." Like, I kid you not, she said that. You're my grandson now. Like, I have no family, no friends, no nothing. I don't have a dollar to my name. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been in this house that's been free and clear for years. I lost my husband 30 years ago, and this is all I've got. And we borrowed money to buy that house.
Right.
So I just can't give her the house back.
Right.
I
'Cause
can't
you're
lose
paying on it.
$105,000,
Yeah.
right? And so here we are, just a couple weeks away from ready to start remodeling the house. And what are you going to do? You're going to evict her? What do you do?
Right.
What would someone do in this situation?
Oh,
and it was,
my gosh.
I mean, I lost a lot of sleep over. We
She
tried.
moved into your third bedroom, didn't she?
Yes, yeah, she's still there. She's still there
She's
today.
in the cabin. Of the house that he's buying.
Yeah, down on the pond. She fishes all day long. It's great.
Mother-in-law suite.
Yeah. So we immediately said, okay, we've got this loan out for like 6 months. We went straight to the lender, explained the situation, like we'll be flexible, whatever, what you need. So we gave her 3 more months to figure things out. She wanted to get into a retirement community. And as we're getting close to that second 90-day period, we're like, what's going on? How can we help you? You know, and she's mad. She's bitter. Not mad at us, but definitely bitter at life, which is understandable. Sure. But out of nowhere, the neighbor calls me up. Said, "Hey, I found out about this, and I wanted to buy the house, let her live there for free until she passes, and then we'll take over the house and we'll get paid back with the equity, whatever. Sure. How much you want to sell it for?" I said, "Exactly for how much I bought it.
Yeah,
to the exact dollar. I don't want to lose a dollar. I want to make a dollar. I just wanted to pass off that you are amazing. Like
erase this.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
totally amazing." And so I told the team, and my whole team was invested in like this was god awful. I mean, we're trying to raise money. We're trying. What do? We've got authorities involved. There's nothing you can do at this point.
Yeah.
And so 2-3 weeks later, our transaction coordinator just called her, just checking in on her, and like that's her weekly job, you know, and calls in and said how things go, and she goes, "Good. I'm all packed. I'm moving out next week. I'll be good to go." Where I go, "Wait, hold up. You're moving out?" Yeah. I found a place, and you know, I'm not gonna be able to afford it, but a friend's gonna help me cover the difference. "Oh, but we're selling it to your neighbor, so you can live there." Oh, well, that's not what I really meant. And then find out the neighbor took advantage of us in the situation.
Oh shit!
So we circled back around and said, "No, we're not staying in the house anymore."
Wait. So okay, back up for a second. They took advantage. How did they take advantage of you again?
The neighbor told me that they're gonna let her stay there.
Right.
And so I sold it to him to break even.
Right.
So we didn't make
But
any
they
profit.
didn't plan on letting her stay there?
No.
They're just getting a good deal, essentially.
Took advantage of her situation and us, and now they're getting a house. So we were going to cancel contract with them. Like, this is wrong, and, you know,
Right.
and we're not doing this. And then she comes back and says, "I misspoke. You know, he wasn't very clear. Now I understand the situation. I am going to live here." And she's crying. So you don't know who's telling the truth.
Yeah.
What is going on?
And so what I do, and so we're like, man, we have to sleep well at night. Like, I can go either way with this, and which consequences could I live with? And the consequences of getting screwed over or taken advantage of is a lot better than screwing over an 80-year-old woman.
Right.
Yeah, so I went back to him, renegotiated a profit, and said, "We're going to slap 20 grand or something on this, and then I don't care what you do with this." And he did exactly that, and he bought the house. And so since then, we've come across 4 or 5 similar situations that's prevented us from buying the house, because now we know what to look for. But
Right.
yeah, I don't care about how much money I lose on a house. That,
Old
that
lady
takes
got
the cake.
hooked up with the Tinder swindler,
Yeah,
bro.
Facebook. It wasn't even Tinder, man. It's
swindler.
Facebook. Came in.
Wow.
Came in cheap.
Liked a few photos.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Dude just made it scot-free
That's
with 105 grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, it took him 12 months to get there, but yeah.
What do you think he's doing right now? If you had to guess, if you just had to, you know.
I don't think he's ever been in America.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she never had met him?
Never met him. Never met him.
Did I miss that part of the story?
I probably didn't include it, but yeah.
So
never
this is
met
her
him.
boyfriend, but this
Never
was
met
a,
him.
she is
Where'd
catfish.
the money get wired to?
What the
Nigeria?
hell, bro?
Yeah, probably,
Dude,
yeah.
that's
So that Prince.
Prince of
Catfish,
Nigeria.
105 grand.
Yeah.
Can you
Reverse
believe that,
Prince
bro?
Nigeria.
That's
I
ridiculous.
was in a house a month ago, maybe not even that long ago, and the lady, same situation, lost her husband 2 years ago. And while I'm there, she's on his phone with this guy. He goes, "Sorry, he's over in Berlin or something. I can't remember, doing a job. He's an engineer. She's 80-something. He's 50. He's 55, and they're engaged. They've never met, and she is sending him Apple gift cards, like taking pictures of it and giving the scratch off code, so he can have minutes to call her. Well, it's part of their grooming process. If you can give a stranger $100, then it's $1,000, it's $20,000. Well, here I am looking at buying her house. I'm asking her pretty loaded questions now because we do this on purpose to uncover scams. So, well, whose idea was this, and who found us, and who thought first to reach out to us, and what are your plans when you do this, and she couldn't answer any of those questions. Well, he found you. He told me to call. It was this idea to sell the house, and so I had to point blank tell her, you're getting scammed. Who here lives?
He doesn't love you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He does not love you.
Yeah.
And he's probably not even a he.
Yeah. It could be a she. It could be 20 years old. It could be anywhere in the world. Yeah. It could be AI for all we know.
Dude. Oh my
scary.
gosh.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so wild.
Yeah. That was our worst deal.
Okay. So now tell us about the best deal that you've ever made. Or one of the best. I know that's a tall order, but
It can be the same. It doesn't have to be profit. It can be like,
Yeah.
we hook
Okay.
somebody
I
up.
got one. I mean, we've made some good profit. I typically don't talk about that.
Sure.
I think that's just, it comes with, because if I sat here and said what our biggest deal was, everyone's like, oh, this is great, and look at him loaded, but you don't see the 20 I lost on last year alone. It's a balancing act. So I don't want to.
But at least for our listeners, they did get to hear about the poo-poo that just happened. So
Yes.
they know that
Big
even
pile.
though we're
It's not
about to
all
tell them,
sunshine,
it ain't all sunshine and
the
rainbows.
big pile of poo-poo. Yeah.
But really, how much
Big
money
chunk
do you
poopy.
make per year?
How much do you make per year?
How many dollars?
I refuse to turn over my tax returns. All right. So my mom moved during COVID to Arizona retirement community. Her and her husband wanted to do that for years. I got two little ones. My brother has a kid, and I also have a sister as well. And they just missed family. Well, they moved twice in COVID, from Springfield to Nixa, from Nixa to a retirement community in Arizona. And so as they're selling it, they're buying at a higher price, and interest rates are starting to go up. And so now they're trying to move back, and you just can't. You cannot replace that house. And so there's like no options for them. And I had just bought a house that was exactly what they needed. And so I flipped the house within 16 days.
Wow.
Got in there, completely flipped it upside down, and I sold it to them. I don't even know if we even made a profit. Just broke even. And being able to do that was probably one of the most impactful moments of my entire career.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a lot shorter than the other story, but
Well, and that's it's kind of like golf. We're big golfers. Do you like to golf?
I'm a professional golfer. I actually started
really?
last year. I've played 3 games so far.
Oh, professional golfer.
Yeah, I could hit the ball. I just don't know where it's going to go.
So it's kind of like golf. It's most of your hits are not that great, but it's that one that you hit that just flies
feel it.
right,
Yeah.
lands right, rolls out right, that just makes you feel like a rock star, and it's those wins that make you keep chasing the game. And I think it's similar for the business that we're in. It's like there are a lot of bad stories, and if you do put all of your bad stories out there and people got the, we've talked about our bad stories, now we're getting yours. We've heard some bugaboos.
Yeah.
And so people might ask, why do you do this? And obviously you can make a lot of money doing this, but who wants to make that much money and live miserably and go deal with all these problems? It's because of the stories like that, where you do get to help people out and you do get to, be an instrumental part of their whole entire success story. It makes it worth doing in the end.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it goes way beyond the profit.
Right.
I mean, every single person, I don't know if I even count on one hand how many people we bought a house from that we didn't impact them. We've got
Right.
testimonies, I've got videos, I've seen people cry at a closing table. We've had people send us gift cards and donuts and flowers. And you're solving problems.
Right.
That is very impactful. And then when you get to building a team, it's a whole nother addiction.
Yeah.
To coach people, mentor people, and
Building
build a
culture.
it's just
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
That's actually what I was going to kind of ask next, because you're kind of leading into that. But like, what does Ozark's House Buyers look like in the next year, 5 years? Like, do you have kind of a vision for that? Like, what's kind of on the horizon for you guys?
We've got a BHAG goal, of going into a total of 4 markets. I think if we're in can we reverse that?
Yeah.
4 markets, we can afford a true exec team to where we can sit more in the owner's box. I don't want to be
Right,
involved in the business,
right.
but don't have to be involved. I think it's very powerful. I can then start chasing other things. One thing over the last 11 years, I've been super focused. I've never bought a commercial building. I've never bought an apartment, bought a couple trailer homes here and there, but we are so focused on what we do. But it's
Single
process.
family?
All single family. Yep.
Yep.
We just stay boring, stay to what we're good at.
Right.
I could buy a house within minutes. It's just good. I just know what to do. I try to underwrite an apartment, and I'm all over the place. So if I can get into more of an owner's box, then I can start chasing down other avenues, whatever that looks like. So 4 markets seems to be the magic number. However, in the last year or so, we've built and rebuilt the team a couple of times, and it's a challenge. Sales people are just as hard as contractors. It's just,
herding cats.
Yeah.
Have you had to shift strategies at all with rates going up? Now rates are coming down. Now, obviously, not to turn this into a political conversation, but, I think there's a lot of people that are out there that are on pause right now because they don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. Yeah. And so, have you had to shift strategies on how you attack the whole entire thing based on what's happened in the economy?
We're constantly shifting it. In fact, we're in the shift right now because exactly what we said. Right. I don't know about you guys, but most of the buyers we talk to are on pause right now. So investors, we market 3 or 4 deals a week, and just in Springfield alone. So our marketing, our dispo rep probably sends out 6 to 8 deals a week. And so we know when it's hot, when people are buying, not buying. In the last 3 weeks or so, it's been dead silent. We're still selling them. They're still buyers, but it's just not what it used to be. Yeah. And so the deals are going to get better and better. Right. But you can't sell a house right now. So if you build up your inventory in the springtime, I think it'll be a phenomenal time to sell. So
what do you think the reason is that it's silent? Is it because people are just put in pause? Is it a price thing? Is it a thing that it's like, well, hey, if we reduce our price a little bit, then people start coming back in? Or have you played with, I'm assuming you've played with that, hey, you know what, knock 10 grand off this and then let's see what happens. Yeah. Are you finding that price has anything to do with it?
Yeah, you said let's not get political, so let's get political.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Just jump in. Okay with it, yeah. What happened 3 weeks ago?
You're okay, the assassination attempt? Yeah.
And whether you're for or against, it doesn't matter. The event happened, right? What's happening in, 60 days, 45, 60 days? Probably the biggest election of our lifetime.
Right.
Who do you know right now? This is a loaded question. You don't even have to answer if you don't want to. Who do you know right now that's truly flourishing?
You.
No, by far not. I wish, right?
But you said 153. No, but nobody.
No one in your family, your friends, and probably yourselves. Crazy. No one is out buying a boat right now. Have you looked Facebook Marketplace? If you want to buy a boat, now's the time.
Now's the time.
Oh my gosh, they're half the price they were a year ago.
I know a lot of people with derangement syndrome that think that they're doing good.
Well, I think that's dying off rapidly because that has sustained us since rates gone up. That's why the economy hasn't changed, because the reason you increase inflation rates is to dissuade people from buying. Right. It didn't work.
To stop the buying.
Because we exactly, right? The credit and the savings accounts. They had this cush money that they blew through. So it took us almost 2 years for that derangement to disappear. I think it really has disappeared. Yep.
All of it.
Crypto
millionaires.
We're emotional creatures. We make decisions based on emotion, and we back it up by logic. No matter what you think, we don't make logical decisions. Right. And so if you feel times are tough, you have the assassination attempt. So no matter which side of the fence you're on, I think it was kind of clear where things were heading, or at least you knew what you were getting with both parties. You knew if you're voting for this party or this party, you knew exactly what you're getting. And all of a sudden, it's a huge mess.
But you have to start asking yourself the question, why did this attempt even happen? And when you ask that question, it forces you to, because people aren't out there just trying to kill anybody because they don't like their opinions and their blah, 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 blahs. So there's got to be a reason. And not to get deep in it, but it does make everybody, like you said, regardless of what side of the aisle that you're on, it's got everybody thinking, holy cow, this is a serious situation.
What's more important is no matter where you land on the spectrum, if some dude that woke up mad one day, grabbed a gun out of his closet and decided to shoot a former president, right? Or Iran did this, or our own government did this, or whatever. I don't care where you're at. I know for a fact no one knows what to believe.
Yeah.
No matter what. And I think that's driving a lot of emotional fear right now. No one knows where the rates are going. We were told all year long rates are going down. They are going down, but we've been told for a very long time they are. So now, are we confident it's really happening?
Is it really going to?
And then we are now back to what a lot of investors have not experienced yet, but seasonality. Things are going to slow down. And when I remember when the first time it happened 2 years ago, there was like panic. Almost like, oh my gosh, it's November. I'm not getting offers because it's November. No one's buying houses in November, right? And so you couple all that together, and it's kind of like a winter on the horizon. And so people are just kind of staying still. And I think it'll be like until probably February at least. And I think it's if you had the means, by that, like the ability to buy it, and also to weather the storm, to make up for anything that changes, a black swan event that could crush you, wipe you out, then now's the absolute best time to be buying.
So would it be safe to say that if you're looking at strategies right now, whether you're buying and holding or you're flipping, that a buy and hold probably makes more sense
if the numbers pencil out? Because you guys probably know, probably better than me even, that rates just don't pencil out right now. We haven't bought a rental in over a year, and it's just they're not good enough. If it pencils out, now's the best time. I mean, our sales conversion has gone up. We're getting more deals now than we ever have, and it's because I think a lot of people are hitting that pause. So purchasing, yes, is not the best time to sell. Things still sell. Just make sure your product is great. Make sure you got it priced right, and just don't buy anything weird or it's in a bad location. But I think that's a loaded question, because if someone's getting into wholesaling or getting into real estate at all, period, they probably should not be buying rental properties right now. They should be getting quick cash, and there's no better way than wholesale 1 or 2, 3 properties. Put the cash aside and maybe partner up with someone, flip, make $20,000. So it really depends on where you're at. But if you had the capacity to buy houses and sit on inventory, I think the next several months will probably be some of the best since COVID.
Right. Price wise.
Yeah. But our strategy changes almost monthly. In 2020, especially 21, 22. 2020 took us a while to really get comfortable. We only flipped. We hardly wholesaled anything. And usually it's because, this house has been sitting for 6 months. Let's just throw it out there and see what it sells for. We're just buying houses and not really even a joke, but it's kind of funny. Like forgetting about houses. Like, wait, what house is that? Yeah, it's this house down the street. I'm like, oh crap, let's flip this one. Like they didn't know we owned it. And so it was heyday. It was just Wild West buying houses. So we flipped everything. And then when rates started going up, I immediately made a decision in the company, we're not flipping a single thing. We're only going to wholesale. And then we came back to a balance, so because I want to see what was going to happen to the market.
So if you had to look over the past since 2017, if you had to look over the past and look at all of your numbers, can you put an arbitrary estimate on how many deals did you wholesale versus how many deals you think you flipped? Did you wholesale 70%? Did you wholesale 50%? Did you or flip this many? How many?
I would say our first house we bought was 2013. And we probably did 100 or so the first 4 or 5 years, maybe 4 years, just 20, 30
total
a year.
Or each year?
Total. Okay. So and now we're doing 150, 180 a year. So there was a big exponential. The first was probably a third. A third kept as rentals, a third was flips, and a third was wholesale. And then went through this phase of let's dial in processes and build a wholesale machine to spit out cash, and then we'll use that cash to invest. And so from 2017-ish through 2020, it was mostly wholesale, probably 80% wholesale and 20% rehab. Are
you still sitting on a lot of inventory from old buy and holds, or have you sold off?
So that former partnership, we've sold off a portfolio. So, I'm down to what I think is a low level. I'm sure a lot of people out there don't, but I only have a handful of properties now. And those are all ones I've bought in the last 4 or 5 years.
10, 20, 50, 100?
Right over 20. So 22, 23.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not.
I was going to ask you about processes and stuff. Was that something you figured out? Did you bring somebody in? Was it a hire? Or has that been an evolving thing? Masterminds, coaching?
I figured out a mixture. I figured it out pretty quickly that we're going to treat this like a business. And
I think that's a huge thing right there that you just said. So many people treat this not as a business out the gate, or even 10 years in. It's like you have to treat it as a business
or when
if you want to scale.
Or when does it stop, right? If it's just you, which is fine. There's a lot of people out there, it's just them. And my best friend, I got into this. He's down in Harrison, Arkansas. And a year and a half, 2 years ago, he's like, hey, I want to do what you do. And now he buys 1, maybe 2 houses a month, has no employees. He does half the work himself. And if he works, he works. If he doesn't want to work, he doesn't work. He's a very family-driven man, and he has almost no stress. Nice. I mean, he'll never do the volume we do, but I have a completely different goal and direction than he does. So really it's up to what you want. But I forgot what the original question was, but
system and processes.
Yeah,
how you got there.
I recognize I want to grow something. I wanted something bigger than just wholesaling a house. And so read some books. I was in the mastermind. They were pushing processes. I'm already kind of a process person. I'm very detail oriented. And so it came natural to me. And then over time, we hired a coach who's been with us for 4 years now. and they drive processes. So they come to our office once a quarter. We review our processes, review our goals, review our accountability chart, our mission, all of it. And so we stay pretty organized with that.
Nice.
And we do weekly process meetings with the team. So whether it's acquisitions, dispositions, transactions, whoever's involved, we go through the process, lean it up, figure out what's working, what's not working. So it's been an evolution over time.
Yeah. I mean, I probably know this answer already, but I'll ask it anyways. Like, it sounds like it, but are you a big believer in masterminds, coaching? Like, you have to like get into those things?
You don't have to. But I mean, that's probably the biggest advantage I've had.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. It's the ability not to reinvent the wheel. And it's like going to church, right? When you're stepping in piles of doo-doo,
Yeah.
but you go to church, or go to mastermind and say, hey, I'm not the only one. I was at a mastermind in San Diego the night that Trump canceled flights from Europe and the NBA and NCAA canceled tournaments. We were at the bar, at the hotel, wrapping up day 3, watching it live. And there was no better place on this planet to have been.
Right.
Because you're all looking at each other like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What are we doing?
Yeah, which is
What's the plan?
Yeah, circle the wagons. We're good to go. Let's And the next day I flew home and dropped the kids off my grandparents, went to Jamaica for a week. Stupid decision. I was like, you know what?
Almost didn't get to come back.
Yeah. Well, they shut down all flights the day we were coming back. Like, Secretary, they didn't shut it down, but they're like, we cannot confirm that we can help you get back to the States at this point. And it just so happened to be the day we're flying back. So anyways, no, masterminds is an insurance policy.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. You go to a mastermind and say, hey, it doesn't matter. There's tons of good ones. Just get in one. But hey, I'm going through this problem. Someone else has. You don't have to think about it on your own. You can look and like, man, no one else is doing well. Then it's not me, it's the market. Right. Or coach is great. I don't think I've ever had an actual real estate coach. I've had other coaches, business operations, things like that, life coaches. Mentor obviously is great. I do have unofficial mentors. I mean, there's, starting out, there's several people here in town that they saw something in me, I saw something in them, and they would always pick up the phone call. So constantly taking them for coffee, talking to them. To this day, some of my closest friends, and the tables are turned now. Now we're both helping out equally, but they definitely have a fair share of it. So yeah, if you're getting into it, like, there's no reason why you shouldn't ASAP look at a local RIA group, whatever that looks like, community networking group, a local mentor, hire a coach, or join a mastermind. Be the first thing I do.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, it changes everything. I started doing all the research in the beginning on my own, trying to teach myself, and then, trying to give as many free meals to him as I can to pick his brain. And so, that's kind of how I started. But whenever and he actually had told me that, go to the RIA group. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know this thing exists, didn't know anything. So I look it up. I show up to the meeting. I've been quite a few times. I've seen you there. I've seen him there. You go to a lot of things, which is, so I can attest firsthand that you believe in it. Yeah. But I do too. And even now, even after you learn things and you know what you're doing, you still go to these things, even though you don't necessarily need to, but it's because you never, ever know what opportunity is going to be born out of these events. Yeah. And you can get employees from them. You can find deals from them. And people that I've also noticed in this community are extremely eager to help you out.
Yes.
They really, really are. And it's unlike any other community that I've been a part of. Everybody, it seems like most of the investors here locally want to see other people win.
Yeah.
And I really like that. It's not the same everywhere else. I've been in business in a lot of different areas doing other things, and it's very competitive, and it's very, everybody's like, oh, I don't want that person stealing my clients. I don't want this. And there becomes this like, beef, so to speak. But I haven't really seen investor beefs. I haven't seen, like a lot of problems. And it's just like, it seems like everybody genuinely wants you to succeed. And when you're not surrounded by that with your family members and friends that you currently have, it means a lot, because the people that you surround yourself by that are encouraging you and lifting you up, that's truly what's going to help you actually pull the trigger on your first deal.
Yeah.
If I know, hey, I don't know anything about this wholesaling thing, but I met Andrew at a group. He's a sincere guy. He's texted me a couple times. I know that if I do pull the trigger on this, if I have a question, I can text him and he's going to be able to answer that for me. Yep. And I might be like, why would would he be willing to help me, this newbie to the process and all this? And it's because how many times have you met people that were just starting out, but you found out that they were serious, they kept doing it, and then before too long, your relationship evolved to later on to where they end up providing a lot of value to you, and it's just like the pay it forward process.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, I can think of, the pay it forward, I mean, gosh, you asked Daniel a question earlier, like how many you buy from wholesalers. Little known secret, we buy about 30% of our deals from wholesalers.
Right.
So yeah, we wholesale, but we also buy from wholesalers.
Right.
So, and so yeah, you help someone out, and surely they'll bring you the deal.
Right.
Or they know money, or I mean, they may meet a banker you don't know, and kids nowadays. Not that I'm not a kid, but the people just getting into their career are super smart, and there's so many different. The landscape is changing way too quickly now with regulations and technology and all sorts of stuff that sometimes the brand new people are seeing it so differently. They bring an idea. But I can think of two very specific situations where I don't know where I would be without the network of other investors. Like I could not lean on my family.
Right.
So when I first figured out wholesale 2 houses, we were full time. And I remember over Christmas break, I'm sitting on my laptop and I found Bigger Pockets. Mm-hmm. And I'm going through there, I'm like wholesaling and going through the blogs. And if you've ever not done that, you should.
Right.
And it'll tear you apart because there's like, wholesaling is great, easiest way to make money, it's ethical, wholesaling is illegal, it's unethical, and you're a shark. And it's just like, I'm reading this throughout, and I remember getting so discouraged. I almost hung it up that night. Wow. I really remember, this isn't for me, I'm going to do something completely different.
Right.
All because blog posts. But I had already by then a group of mentors that I turned to, and like, no, that's just people's opinion. The quicker you can get over it, the better you are. And then COVID, I remember flying home, and we were already struggling as a business at that time. We grew way too fast, and we had to dial it back, and we were in a financial pinch. And so I was already feeling the pain, and I went literally to this mastermind, and during my hot seat, I shared that. I was like, guys, I don't know what to do, how to get out of this. And then next thing I know, when COVID hit, no one thought prices were going to double and days of work were going to go to zero. And so we thought the world was going to fall apart. It was going to melt. And so I remember just completely emotionally breaking. I mean, outside my house, outside the garage, this is the first time I ever talked about it. But
you're going to lose everything?
Yeah. My wife to this day didn't even know. Like I was breaking down outside
She's gonna
my house.
know now.
She probably won't watch it, so I'm safe. We'll edit this part. No, it's all good.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, fix it in post.
I just remember getting so emotional about that. And had I not had the mastermind, that I got onto the Facebook the next day or picked up the phone and started calling people, realized that everyone else was doing that and everyone else had a game plan and they were telling me, well, do this and do this and this, I think I would have quit right then and there. Yeah. So there's 2 times I would have quit that immediately came to my mind had I not had some sort of group behind me.
Yeah.
So
definitely get involved in a group. Okay, so kind of one of the last things that I want to go into, if I'm a wholesaler and I'm watching this video and I'm just learning about wholesaling for the first time, what are some practical tips that you can give me if I've never done it before, some practical first steps if I want to get started into wholesaling? Where do I go? What do I listen to? Who do I search out? What's my first couple moves that I need to make if I want to get going?
Yeah. Obviously, you have to educate yourself. You have to at least know what an ARV is, how much to make an offer, how to find buyers, how to find sellers. Like the key components. And the easiest way is podcasts. So your podcast, there's some really good podcasts out there. Bigger Pockets, it still is a good resource, but draw the line somewhere. You can't just educate forever. So I say the very next thing is if you're going to wholesale, find a wholesaler. You're going to flip, find a flipper. Find someone in your market and take them out to lunch, pick their brain. And then the third thing, as fast as humanly possible, make 20 offers. 20 offers so low they won't get accepted. Yeah. Because it's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to get you over the fear of rejection.
Flexing that muscle.
Right? Yeah. So 20 offers, it's going to do 3 things. It's going to get you over the fear of rejection. Is going to get used to figuring out how much to offer on the house. And the third thing, the best part of it is if you make 20 offers so low, no one's going to accept it. One's going to accept
Somebody's going to accept it.
That's going to be a deal.
You're like, oh crap, what am I going to do now?
Yeah, I got to go.
And then you wholesale it. Like if you buy it cheap enough, I'm telling you, someone's going to buy it.
Yeah,
someone's going to buy it. And so I really push that. And when people come to me, I say, hey, you can research a little bit, but here's the thing. I remember when we bought our first 2 houses, we had a little green notebook. I still have it for reference. And we sat down at a restaurant one night and started listening to all of our questions. Who buys the tools? Who owns the tools? What kind of accountant do we need? What kind of corporation do we need? What about an attorney? What about an eviction attorney? What about a legal attorney? There's all these different questions. And how do we market this and that, whatever. And we went to the guy that I was working for, building his rental properties, and said, hey, we want to buy something. Here's our questions. Can we start asking them? And he stopped us halfway, not even halfway, and started laughing. It's like, do you guys really want to buy a house? I said, just close that. This is junk. He hooked us up with 2 other wholesalers, and we met with them the next day. And they said, yeah, we got these 2 houses. Go look at them. You want them? I said, yeah. And said, okay, can you buy it in 3 days? No, we can't. So, well, we'll lease option it to you. Okay, but we still got to figure out the LLC, our logo, this and that. He goes, no. Screw all that. Just buy these houses 3 days and worry about it then. So we named our LLC something. It was after our last name, some initials, properties. And that was it. And we're like, we'll change this next month. And that's 2013. We didn't establish Ozark House Buyers until 2017. And even when we did that, it was a different logo at the time, a different whatever.
Yeah.
We went, 4 or 5 years without any of that crap. And so what I've learned, I think one of the things that sets me apart from some other people, not everyone, is just do something and find the answers later on. Screw it up because there's always an answer. So
take action.
Just do it, and then it'll clean up.
Relentless.
Back in.
Yeah, and I've noticed that it really does require a certain personality type. And one thing that a lot of people have told me, friends of mine, family members, there's a lot of people can say bad about me, but one thing that they always say is, you're a hustler. You just take action. If you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. And it feels good for people to know that about me. But at the same time, it's perilous because it makes me a serial entrepreneur. So everything's $1 million idea. What I mean? Like, oh, boom, boom. So I have to start reining myself in and say, all right, dude, you're going 110% on everything, but you can't go 110% on everything. So pick what you're going to do. But yeah, action taking is the number one thing that this whole entire deal takes.
So if you do enough education, just know the basics. Find the mentor, someone local. Hey, Daniel, hey, I just got this deal. Am I offering enough? Yep, okay. And go get under contract, and everything else will figure itself out.
Yep.
Right.
You buy a house right, you will find money to buy it. You will find a buyer that you can wholesale it to. You'll figure out a way to flip it, partner with it, or something. Like, just get out there and make the offers.
So I've also found that, we were talking about the camaraderie and stuff earlier in this business, but what I've noticed about a lot of people who are action takers, who are out there and they're killing it and they're doing it every single day, these are people that they love what they're doing, and they when you ask them questions and they see that you're new and you're just like this empty vessel, and they can fill you up with all of their,
like word vomiting.
Yeah,
like
they can fill you up with their real estate propaganda, and they're like, ha, 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 you're mine. They think about that, and it's like, it's an opportunity for them. So sometimes you can think, oh, well, I'm putting this guy out. If I message Andrew, or if I DM, or if I say something to him, he's probably so busy. He's probably not interested. He probably would never help another person. He's probably, I'm the last person that he would ever. And it's like, well, I mean, if you're taking it serious and you're asking good questions, and you show somebody that you are relentless, that you're going to keep on moving forward, and the needle keeps moving forward, I've found in my experience, a lot of people are willing to help you out, and they just like talking about the stuff that they do. And if you just ask them a couple questions, they won't shut up. They'll keep going. They'll give you all the information for free because they just love talking about it, So
you guys probably get the same as well, but I get daily or weekly requests all the time, and you can quickly distinguish the ones that are like, can I use you and run, versus ones that are in it. When I know someone has good intentions and they have potential possibility, I'll make the time for it, without a doubt.
I know that from being a business owner for a long time, and I'm sure it's probably the same in your business. How bad does it suck when you bring somebody in and you teach them every single thing that they know, and then a year down the road, I mean, it's good and it sucks at the same time because you lose somebody that's a valuable player. But when you talk about somebody that is going to use you and they're just going to peace out, it's like, somebody that you're like, built such a good connection with, and you feel like this guy's going to work for me for, the next 10 years. We're going to grow together. Yeah. And then before you know it, he's like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm leaving next week to go start my own wholesale company. Yeah. And it's like, dude, what the heck? Why didn't you have a conversation with me first about it? Have you had that happen to you?
Yeah, we've had it happen several times. I'm going to say something that's going to be pretty dangerous to say, but we'll throw it out there. I've come to the conviction that if you're not successful on our team, you're probably not going to be successful off our team.
Right.
And so most people don't leave our company because of success. We have a really good culture. You get in, and as long as you're a performing player, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
With that being said, I've had one that was very successful on our team, and I knew at some point he wants to go do something else.
Right.
And he went and did something with his family, and they're
Killing it.
my understanding, crushing it. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
If you're worried about what your competitors are going to do, then you're not looking at the right person, because you are your biggest weakness.
Right.
You're your biggest competitor. So there's 250 houses sold to investors or at a discount every single month in Greene County. It's not me stopping you from buying another house, right? Like there's plenty out there. So yeah, it does sting. I've gotten over it a long time ago. We do a pretty good vetting process now. Like what's your true intentions here? If it literally is a stepping stone, yes, in 6 months I'm going on it. No, because I'm going to invest so much in you. We're 110% open transparency. I'll show you P&Ls if you're in our business, everything. You want to know what's going on, I'll show it all to you. We've got they have access to our mastermind, which has its advanced training. I pay for sales training, all of it. But if you're in it for long haul, right? You want to be part of something rather than to build something, then we'll bring you on. And if you leave, then all the power. I had someone tell me a while back, and I'm going to butcher what he said, but the point was, you should be proud if someone can escalate or promote out of your company, because that's your result.
Yeah, right.
Right. And how dare you stifle someone for your own benefit?
Right.
And so if you have a COO that got promoted to another COO company at a higher level, going from a 5 million company to a 50 million company, whatever, you should be proud that you were part of their journey and not bitter about it. If you try to stifle them, that's nothing but great.
Right.
Yeah.
So in closing, I'd like to ask you, how can people get a hold of you if they want to either sell their house and they need a service that you offer, or somebody that would like to work for your company and that would like to, how can people find you and get in contact with you?
Yeah, if you're looking to sell a house, our website's Ozarks with an S, housebuyers with an S.com. That'd be the easiest way. You'll get the right person on our team that's going to help you a lot better than I can, get you in the right direction. If you want to work with us, whether it's work on our team or partner with us, sell us houses, we work a lot with private money, whatever it might be, you can simply email me, Andrew at ozarkshousebuyers.com, or you can follow me on Facebook, Andrew Newlon, or Instagram, and I think it's like Newlon_Andrew or something. But
yeah,
I'm sure there's only one, maybe two Andrew Newlons out there. Just search it, you'll find me. I put out a couple crappy videos a week, and
nice.
They're better than what you think. I watch all your stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool because there's not a lot of people that are in this space that are doing the same thing. And I like that you care about production value too, because you're not just talking to a cell phone camera. You're also, your audio's good. So you've got a lapel mic on. Yeah. You're walking through. Okay, so I appreciate good marketing and good videos. Yeah.
We take the approach of like, what do people want to see day in the life behind the scenes?
Right.
It's not fluff.
Right.
It's just, this is what's going on. So.
Cool. Well, heck yeah. Well, all right, guys, you heard it here first. That was our episode with Andrew Newlon. You've seen his information on where you can get a hold of him. I'll link it in the description below. But thanks for tuning in, and check us out next time on the Dirty Deal Podcast. Also, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified for future content. Thank you. Later.